me fire, give me that which I desire.
All right, welcome back to Wind Tunnel TV. Tonight it's the RGR Racing League and the ACS Series, the Affordable Construction Specialist here at Iowa for the Iowa 125. I'm Dean Doucette, joined tonight by Mr. Baron Labosco. Baron, down in Iowa here tonight. I love this place, man.
The heartland of America never disappoints here, Dean, and Iowa's a great little racetrack. It's about 400 miles from nowhere, but it is an amazing little event that we have here tonight. Guys have got their hands full. This is a challenging track. It's halfway between a short track and a long track, and there's multiple grooves. Dean, we're going to see some great racing tonight.
Well, it's funny you say that, halfway between a short track and a long track. We were having that little debate ourselves there in the pre-race with a couple of drivers, whether this is a short track or not. And I guess it's not really. Very close, though. I love Iowa, and I like it, Baron, because it's something we talk about quite often. Tracks, two different corners, very distinct.
Yeah, you'll see guys that manage their tire wear and manage their driving talent, if you will, by how high they are on the track. You'll see some guys migrate to the top side because it's easier to drive up there. It's able to keep a handle on the truck, and they'll be able to, negotiate those turns without too much hassle on the steering wheel. Then you're going to see guys that are just going to paste that yellow line on the bottom, and they're going to drive it all night, Dean. And we're going to get to see which one comes out on top tonight.
Yeah, we definitely are. Of course, we look in our championship standings. It's starting to heat up, and we're getting down to it. 3 or 4 races left. I have to check officially on that, but we're getting very, very close here. And Adam Newton leads. However, that gap has come down. Now Bernard Persson within striking range. I mean, Klaus Williams got some work to do. Lance Ripka missed a race. I'm not sure if he's here tonight either, so Ripka might be out of this thing. Might have mostly a two-way battle. Maybe Klaus can win one, but it has tightened up, Baron.
Yeah, it sure has. And look, interestingly enough, looking at the practice charts, Bernard Persson's on top, and Mr. Newton is, in the top 15, but at the bottom half of it. So if that's an indication of how tonight will go, Dean, that points race could tighten up even further.
Yeah, it very well could. Right now, let's get everybody to rise up and enjoy the singing of the national anthem by Alicia Shipman.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave?
Awesome, 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 Dean. God, that gets me going every time. I know I say it every week, but I just never get old on it. My goodness, I'm ready to go racing.
Absolutely. The beautiful Alicia Shipman always does it right. Here we go. We're ready for Iowa tonight's starting grid. You got Greg Ratliff sitting on the pole tonight with a time of 22:893. It's Nate Maurer on the outside of row number 1. Maurer up front this time, and that might bode good for him. Newton, not that fast in practice, but shows speed here in qualifying. He'll start third with Klaus Williams right there in fourth. Jorge Leal, last week's winner. He'll be starting fifth with Cale Seaman up in sixth. Good spot for him. Row number 4, Bernard Person trying to chase down our points leader along with teammate Jason Spear on the outside. Row number 5 is Corey Leal and James Ledford. A little further back, you got Octa Aviani there, and Darren Bruce, Paul K. Travis, Fred Lester, Tony Ratliff, Jason Jackson, Michael Ware, Mike Brown. 19th is Whiting. Spear will be 20th, and George Dibble at the back of the field tonight. Good spot for Greg here. Greg grabbing the pole. He'll be dangerous from up there, Baron.
He's dangerous from anywhere, Dean, and just from sitting on the pole makes him an even deeper threat to land on that podium tonight. So, good qualifying effort, and Mr. Newton falling into third place to help his points lead a little bit. It's going to be a nice evening here, Dean. Love this racetrack, especially the twilight of the Midwest. This is a great place.
Yeah, you talked about Newton a bit there. Newton getting his wheel all sorted out. He's had numerous problems there. Still managed to be in the points lead. I think he's got to be a favorite. But what I do notice is up front, a bunch of big guns up here. So this race is going to heat up early. Truck does a hard left turn down the pit road. Green flag drops fast, and Ratliff down and away. Here we go. We're racing in the ACS Iowa 125.
Right side by side tonight, Dean. Watch that high line, the low line come to life here. You'll see guys managing their trucks on both sides, and then they're going to get together at some point on the backstretch.
Yeah, good racing up front. Looks like Leal taking it easy on the high side or trapped up there. I'm not sure which. They get it sorted out. Leal starting to peak down low now. Or that's not Leal, my apologies. That's Maurer who's falling back. So Maurer falling back quick. Now we've seen this from him, Baron. Maurer really likes the long run. The short run, I don't know if it suits him.
Well, look, listen, he's already got his strategy picked out, and that's not to run too hard in the beginning and let the race come to him. And that's all right, Dean. That we've seen that win in this league before. So some of these other guys a little more hasty getting to the front.
Cale Seaman there makes a move to the bottom, rocking that Indiana Jones machine. Part of the He-Hut family. So the 66 looking racy tonight.
Yeah, and we don't see Scott Olson here in the field tonight. So, he's champion the He-Hut all by himself this evening.
Well, he is. Scott's got some farming to do, so he's just busy with the tractors and such.
'Tis the season, right, Dean? We got plant.
You got to plant. I mean, I got plants. Can't talk about them on TV, though. I like to get the Kailu glass out there as well.
That helps the planting.
It does indeed. So everybody getting a little strung out here, which I like. This is gonna look. It's got a feel of a long run. You see Bernard Person taking the high side early, and that can work here at Iowa. I love that line up through 3 and 4.
Yeah, it's a little smooth up there. Not quite as bumpy. You're able to maintain your momentum coming out of the turn. So as these tires wear out a little bit, you'll see some guys get up there and try to help the engines a little bit, spin them up, keep them high, and that turns into lower lap times, Steve.
It does. And early on here at Iowa, what you'll see is it's kind of follow the leader because it's very difficult to make a move. Right now, you see Corey Leal, though, trying to bring the Mountain Dew machine underneath the Jason Spear. Good
to see Jason back in the lineup tonight. Jason clawing his way back into a points battle, if you will. A solid driver here, and he's got some speed tonight. What do you think?
Oh yeah, Jason was fast in practice. He'll definitely have speed, but Jorge Leal right now getting by him. Right behind him, Darren Bruce. Darren, not a fan of the track, he says, and it showed in qualifying. You don't often see Darren back here in 12th position in qualifying.
Yeah, we can see it with lap 8, but where are we going to be at 134? You know, I think we're going to see more of the 15 up front if this plays out the way he likes it to play out.
Paul K. Travis back here, and he's going to go 3 wide down the middle. This is where it heats up at Iowa. Gets heavy traffic there. Paul K. just picked up a win somewhere out there this week, so he was pretty happy about it, and maybe that translates here, Baron.
I think he was at Lucas Oil. I think he was right in my hometown of Indianapolis, Indiana.
Absolutely, there you go. Baron on top of things here in the booth.
Just trying to do my part here tonight, Dean.
Do you keep up with the social media, Baron?
Every once in a while, I'll flip it over and I'll get entertained by what's on there. And
do you do any entertaining? Do you do any dancing there on the TikTok or anything?
Only if I've got enough Jack Daniels.
Well, that's often, folks, so go check out Baron on TikTok.
I don't have a TikTok. I'm solely a Facebook guy, but it'll be me and the missus dancing in some kitchen with lots of Jack Daniels involved. Lots
I
of
like
Jack
it.
Daniels.
Man, that sounds nice.
It is a nice effort. Yes, we do. There's a certain amount of cosmopolitans that need to be involved in, or wine on her behalf.
It's a two-way street, Baron. They
It
both
is.
need a little bit of lubing up, as we get a little bit older.
It's a partnership.
Octaviani here in the Milwaukee machine, the rookie, up 4 spots into 7th. He's your big mover on the night, so he made an early push. And look at Maurer. Maurer's fallen 6 back to 8th, Barrett. How long before I say he's starting to move forward?
Well, we'll take a look, right? We're at lap 13 of 134. Generally, these tires start to feel their cycle between 15 and 20. So we're going to start to see some guys get a little handling, and maybe that's what Maurer's waiting on.
Okay, still working on Ledford here. Ledford currently in 10th. He's rocking the high side there. That's 1 and 2, folks, so that's interesting. You can make it work, although I do love the bottom in 1 and 2.
Yeah, some guys will run different lines and different turns here. Oh, and we see the 48 into the wall, so that's not helping that lap time at all.
Well, that was almost a slide job, not a true slide job there, but I think it scared Ledford a bit, and that'll happen.
That it does, and now Ledford's got to deal with a caved-in right front. So we'll see how that works for him.
Car's up here around 7th. You got Octaviani in front of him is Seaman. Maurer at the back. Person just in front of them. And I love this corner. I mean, they just fan out. Both corners apparently here at Iowa. They just fan out. I mean, you can see 3, 4, 5 different lines coming through.
They sure do, and everybody looking for that little bit of time, looking for that little bit of grip. It's going to get them past the truck in front of them. And Iowa's hard to pass, especially since everybody's running on the same set here. So Iowa's going to be very hard to pass. But you'll see some guys like the Maurers of the world managing their tires. I think that's going to help him out as the run gets deeper. But we'll see here as Greg Ratliff right now keeping a firm grip on the field.
Yeah, you see Ratliff out front from Adam Newton's car, and he'll be really tough because Greg's so good. He's good short, he's good long, as is Newton. But, I mean, clean air is always king, Baron.
It helps out every way you can think of, Dean. A little more front-end grip, a little more speed, out front there. Doesn't have that draft wake to contend with. It helps out everything.
Now, I'm not familiar with the Xerox there. You got anything for me, Baron?
Xerox is an antifreeze.
All right, there you go, folks. A little antifreeze. You pour that straight on your windshield if you want to de-ice a little bit.
That's right. Now you're going old school with me there, bud.
Yeah, well, I'm
My
an
days
old
when I lived
timer.
in New England.
All right, so the battle's starting to heat up the lead. Newton right there. He is your points leader. Claus Williams in third. It's Leal fourth. Person fifth. And there is Cale Seaman. And don't look now, but here comes Maurer.
Right, and Mauer's probably got to the point where the truck is feeling pretty good. He's still lost an extra spot or two, but I think he's starting to find some speed. He's working on Bernard Persons.
Well, that's what I worry about here, Baron. So if you take Maurer lost 5 spots actually, or is down 5 spots. Passing here is going to be so difficult with this. Oh, and his contact there with Seaman. Wow. And I mean, that won't make it easier. You'll have to back out a little bit, but it is so difficult. It's not like some tracks where you can give up 5-6 spots and just walk them back. It's going to take some time, Baron.
Well, that's what it's all about. This is a game of inches. So the more inches you gain per lap, the better you are, right? So Maurer out there got such a run, he actually tried to cave in the rear bumper of the 66.
Yeah, that was a little rough there. A little bit of a mistake, though. At least he didn't drive through it. Up front, Newton right to the bumper of Ratliff here, challenging for the lead. So lap 23 at 134. This is going to be a fast race here tonight, Baron. I mean, 134 laps at Iowa, they're going to click right off. So these guys got to be on their game. And we talked a little bit, well, not me and you, but me and one of the drivers talked about pit road. It can be difficult here to get on fast.
Well, I've never had a problem with Iowa. I think it's a wonderful track all the way around. I think pit road is a good, solid pit road, especially for a smaller track. I like it, Dean, but you're right. Every pit road is challenging if you don't practice.
So Maurer still working on Cale Seaman, and you can see, folks, you get down low, it's very difficult. That high line can hold you off and hold you up, and it'll make you burn your stuff up. And you see there, he's going to go right back to that bumper again.
Yeah, so now he learned what didn't work for him before. He's going to try something different here. Here's a fender high right here on the 66. Looking to drive it low and try to get a run down the backstretch on it.
Well, I think that's how you get it done, right? I mean, they don't coin the term slide job for nothing. Iowa's the king of the slide job.
Yeah, it sure can. And this race often happens in the later months of summer, so that track is hot, slippery, and it's real greasy. And it makes for some great races, but boy, it also makes for some heated tempers.
Let's hop on board with Cale Seaman here. He looks like he's racy tonight.
He's got his hands full holding off Maurer right now. Also in a heated battle with Bernard Persons.
Yeah, Bernie on the high side, Maurer down low.
Bernie not going to be an easy pass here.
There's no doubt he won't be. And there goes Maurer. Maurer goes to the high side and gets around him. So just when I say it, that Seaman's onto something, Maurer says, no, how about me? And he's going to go work on Bernard Person right now.
Yeah. Good look here out of the Maurer machine here. Looks like he's had enough tire left over that he's going to make short work of the cars in front of him.
Well, I mean, we're going to find out, right, how that move works out, that fade back move. We're already on lap 30, so I don't know. I imagine these guys are going to try and go halfway, Baron. What's that, 67 laps to halfway?
Yeah, and they're going to manage every bit of it along the way, too, Dean. You're not right. You're right about that.
Starting to sound like a politician, Baron. You're covering both sides of it.
Well, you know, everybody likes a shit show.
Yep, stay tuned for those debates, folks. That'll be entertaining. Maybe I'll call one. You want to come in and call one of these debates?
As long as I can drink when they're doing it, Dean,
Oh,
you got me.
it's
I'm
mandatory.
I'm booked up. You get me some Jason Spear in here, as long as we're all drinking, fine.
I mean, and everybody else has to drink every time we say shit show.
Right?
Or clown fest.
I'm not going to get past the introductions.
Right now, Ratliff opening up a few car lengths on Adam Newton as he continues to chase him down or try without fading here on the long run.
Newton had been right to that back bumper for a while, and Ratliff just out there turning laps. I'm wondering if maybe Newton has backed off a little bit to cool those tires for a run.
Well, there's that, and also the clean air thing. You get up right up on them, even in a short track like this, that dirty air is going to affect that car, and the more it affects the car, the worse your car will get. So, you know, it's a chicken and egg thing there, and I think getting a little bit of space, get a little air on that front spoiler probably help the two machine out.
Yeah, it might be. So keep Newton as he's cruising along. Iowa's a tough track, Dean, and we see some great drivers right now struggling to make anything work.
Well, speaking of great drivers here, Klaus Williams and Jorge Leal, both of these guys have put themselves in that category, Baron. They're in 3rd and 4th right now.
Yeah, Leal's last week winner out here trying to stay on a podium, working over Klaus.
Look back at, there's Maurer. Siemens starting to work on Person, so Person fading a little bit here. Still rocking that high line. You can see the struggles of trying to get by someone here at Iowa.
It's tough to pass, and it's really hard to pass without getting into the guy above you.
Yeah, it is. You got to be so aggressive, Baron. I mean, you can't just tiptoe around here. You got to get up on someone's bumper and then get them on entry and perhaps slide job them, or at least be willing to swap a little paint.
Right, without wrecking them.
Oh, and Octaviani, something's happened to him. That's going to bring out a yellow. So yellow here on lap 37. Michael Octaviani in the wall. Looked like it was a solo crash, but we're going to find out.
Yeah, it looks like the way that car was positioned, that might have had some help.
So 77 here. There's the slide job. Wow! And that looked like some crazy neck code if I ever seen it, Baron.
Yeah, it sure was. A little bit of help, but he's in the wall. He's
He got help from something, but it was phantom. I mean, other than that, maybe we'll go on board and see what happened here. Oh, he just checked up and a bad correction. Checked up, got loose, and overcorrected.
Yep.
That's the slide job there. That's what it'll do to you sometimes. Everybody heads down pit road.
Here comes the field. Yep. Well, let's see who practiced, team. My vote is the 15.
Well, the 15's going to be good. I raced him the other night, and he beat me off of pit road, Baron. What do you think about that?
This is my shock and awe phase.
I was shocked.
Well, we know Darren Bruce can get on and off pit road. He's won 2 races doing like that, Dean. So,
I mean, he was under caution like this, and he jumped me, and I couldn't believe it. But more practice is what I'm hearing from you without you saying it.
No, well, as your former crew chief, right?
Yeah, I had to fire you. You were too accurate.
Here comes Darren Bruce up only 1 spot. Fred Lester up 4, though, so big winner off of pit road.
Yeah, Fred Lester.
There. Yep.
Octaviani makes the long trip in all alone. He'll go a lap down. He might have want to wait 1 more lap and cut up to the field, but he will. Or nope, that's he coming from the lead, so he's going to be just fine. This will shake it up though, Baron. I mean, another restart here. And the thing about Iowa is you see how tough it is to pass. You see the long run where you kind of get spread out. Not a whole lot happens about managing your machine, what you can do later in a run. But it'll start to heat up. It's a little early yet, but if we stack this field up, each time it gets further on in the race, guys are going to get more and more aggressive early.
Well, and I think that they've got to figure that out, right? We know passing is hard on the long run. So if you're any kind of a driver, you get what you can early, right?
Well, I think at this point you do. I mean, you've seen how tough it can be. You take what you can get, and if you burn them up a little bit, you just run that high line and see if anybody can get underneath you or not. Gonna be entertaining, though. I like it. Top 4 in order, except for Maurer, who did fall to 5th. Now, Maurer has to hate this caution. He was looking forward to a nice long run there, I think.
Yeah, and I think he had the right strategy. Look, it's 41 and 134. There's probably 2 more pit stops in their future, or at least 1.
Yeah, I'm thinking 1 probably here at Iowa.
Yeah, probably right. We'll see how the race shakes out. But Maurer now either desperately going to run it for the long run or plan on that caution.
And there's Cale Seaman. He's having a nice night. Started 6th, remains in 6th. I like seeing these guys have good nights. Lester up 5 spots. He's in 9th. And Lester's been coming along lately. I think Lester's about to show his face here more often around the front.
Well, it was a hell of a pit stop, and now he's there. So let's see what he can do with it, right?
Bruce appears in the top 10. There's Spear. Paul Kay. Jason Jackson, haven't called on him tonight. We know what he can do. He's mired back in 13th right now. Got Ledford, Tony Ratliff, Whiting, Ware, Daryl Spear, Mike Brown. Up front, we're getting ready and set to go back green flag racing.
Top 4 unchanged. So let's see how this plays out on this restart.
Ottaviani getting lots of work done in there as that truck not in the best of shape.
It's going to take a little bit to bang the dents out, but he'll be fine.
All right, everybody getting tightened up here. Sphincters included.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag down and away. Back to green flag racing. Newton right on the outside this time. And if he really slings it, he might be able to do something. He does. He's getting aggressive. I like it. This is exactly what you need to do, is get on the high side and stay on him. Newton's done it.
Great run out here. As this plays out, Ratliff in real trouble now.
He's loose.
Loose.
Wow. He held on to it. I'm telling you, that was a handful.
No checkup here from the 2 machine.
He's got to stay on that outside, and he is trying for all his might here. Ratliff trying to clear him. He knows how important this is, and this really works to Klaus Williams' favor and everybody else behind as these front 2 keep battling.
It's full send right now from these 2 drivers up front.
Behind them, big battles going on.
Newton
And it's
like
Newton on the high side. I thought it would prevail eventually.
So clear Newton, the 2 machine out front.
Newton to the lead, and Lester's loose, and Bruce pushes him around. That'll bring out another caution. Lester just broke loose, and Bruce got just a touch on him there to push him around.
Did a 360, grabbed the gear, kept going. Good job, driver.
See there underneath Seaman, here comes Bruce. Bruce tries to avoid him, but no. And everybody stays off of him there. So Lester's night just became more difficult.
It's all that work he did on pit road. Now it's for nothing.
Yeah, it's tough when that happens, boy. You get out on freshies. I did it the other night, Baron. You weren't there for that one, but well, let's just say I wasn't very proud of myself. I went 3 wide, high to the middle. I 3 wide, lost control of the machine, and took a couple of good cars out along with my own.
Well, these things happen. Was there whiskey involved?
Is this your counseling? Whiskey?
Yeah, well, it's my do.
That's my therapy session. Here's
That's
a
it.
bottle. Head yourself home, son.
Absolutely. Make it happen.
So Newton now the leader. What a job he did on that restart, Baron. It's not easy to hang on the outside of someone on a restart.
No, it's not. And he's done it, and that's something he needs to look out for on this restart, right?
Exactly, and like I said, I mean, they can go when they want, so usually the leader gets a big jump. I don't know how Newton timed that so well, but Ratliff's going to have to do the same. It's going to be very difficult to do that. Octaviani getting the lucky dog. So we're getting to that point, you know, where someone's going to come in and top off. Here we go. They're topping off. Tony Ratliff, Daryl Spear, Mike Brown all on pit road. I don't think you'll see tires. Oh, they are getting some tires. So
Yeah,
first
nothing to
pit
lose
stops,
here.
maybe.
Yeah, nothing to lose here by doing this. You know, they're going to gain a few laps on the pit window. That could work out in their favor, Dean.
Yeah, I mean, they got enough sets of tires. I don't think there's anything to worry about, so why not, right? Beautiful night here in Iowa. Beautiful night up here in Canada.
How is it up there in the Great White North? You having decent weather?
Beautiful. It's been great.
I'm out here in Baltimore, Maryland, talking to you from damn near the nation's capital. And it was a beautiful sunny day here as well.
Yeah, I mean, very similar weather to Baltimore and London, Ontario here. Get your shorts out. Show everybody those white legs.
They're very white, too.
Oh, my goodness. Scary white, Baron.
Yeah, my girlfriend's threatening self-tanner.
I remember listening to a Bill Burr comedy special where he said he went into a certain neighborhood and he says, if you're not prepared for me, I'm shockingly white. I can scare you a little bit.
That sounds like something he would say. He is very, very white.
So Newton goes to the high side. Do you like this, Baron?
I do. I think this is a smart move. I think he saw what he was able to accomplish on his own, and he doesn't want Ratliff to have that opportunity.
Yeah, very smart move. Newton making all the right moves here tonight. Let's hope he can hold on. And like I said, his wheel's been fixed. I mean, let's not forget here that he's a points leader and what he's capable of. I mean, he's been having serious wheel problems, man. I mean, to the point where he's got his gun out and he's thinking about shooting his wheel. Not himself.
Yeah, just the wheel. Got it.
Maybe the computer as well. I mean, he had some bad intentions towards all the electronics.
Just let it rip.
Another therapy lesson from Baron. Go for it. Got
I'm an
yourself a
enabler.
bottle.
I am not the guy to talk you out of bad ideas. I'm the one that pushes you into them.
Oh my. The optimist. Yeah, go for it.
What the hell? Let's see what happens.
Well, let's see what happens here. Newton high, Ratliff low, Leal and Williams in row 2. Here we go. And no, good launch there by Newton. He's going to get away. Now, can Jorge Leal do the same thing to Ratliff that Newton did? He tries, and a little protection there from, you see Ratliff go a little higher this time. That was smart from Ratliff.
He let him clear for a minute now. He's stuck on the bottom again. Leal looking to make a run here on that high side. He's going to get it. And,
he is going to get it. Ratliff, man, he is not going to be happy going from first, now battling for second, could fall to third, or worse if Klaus Williams hops up there, and he does.
And you can see these other guys smell blood in the water now, Dean. If they got that high line, or little passes, that was not lost on the rest of the field.
Yeah, and Ratliff knows it. He's got to get up there. He looks a little tentative to get up to that high side. He is clear, and there he goes.
So he'll be there now. Good.
Back a little further, it looks like Seaman might be losing a few spots here as that high line really starting to come in.
Yeah, they're ganging up on him now, Dean.
They definitely are. That's the freight train right there. Jorge Leal just set the best lap of the race. So Leal up to second. He's up 3 spots. He's got his sights squarely set on the tube machine. Person making a move there, almost contact with Klaus Williams. Mike Brown has gone around, but no caution out on the track. So things starting to settle down here, and that's what we talked about. I mean, the aggression amps up on these restarts, Baron. They're almost lucky to get through this one.
Yeah, they really are. And, you know, you'll see these guys sort itself out because the tire wear is going to dictate that. But then you're going to see guys starting to push and shove a little bit, trying to make their passes.
Jason Jackson now starting to move forward a little bit. He's up 4 spots. You see Maurer, he's in the rocking chair there, or the pocket.
The pocket. I love the pocket.
It's not quite the rocking chair. You remember the old rocking chair from Smokey and the Bandit there, Baron?
The old Barca Lounger.
Well, that was the a trucker move there, where they put the car in the rocking chair. A bunch of truckers hid the Bandit there on the highway. I mean, I might have my metaphors mixed up. It's hard to say.
It's been a while since I've seen the movie.
Sally Field there, good-looking girl back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Bernard Person here to the bumper of Klaus Williams. He's getting a little racy out here. I like it. You see Bernie start to get racy. It means he's starting to get comfortable with this track.
Bernard Person, not a good-looking girl back in the day.
No, he wasn't, but he might have been around a few, Baron.
Yeah, I bet he was. I bet folding money that he was.
There's no doubt. He might even still have a few kicking around. You know, us old folks aren't doing too bad these days, Baron.
Nobody can account for the checks in the mail. There's old Jason Jackson now. Jason's up 4 spots. We said we hadn't talked about him. We need to talk about him. He's our biggest mover on the field so far.
Yeah, and I mean, he's been really good this year, so I'm a little surprised he's back here, but I don't think he qualifies. I might be getting guys mixed up, but Jason Jackson, I mean, they do qualifying a half hour before the race. He can't make it, I believe, so often has to come through the whole field.
And tonight, he's doing just that, up 4 spots in the 12th.
Big battle here, right in front of him. Leal, Bruce, Travis, all scrapping it out, and I love the way they fan out. They're all sticking that headlight out.
Looking for whatever grip they can get now. These tires have gotten old enough that it is really hard to manage these corners, especially when they're piled up on each other like this, Dean. You know, one small slip and you're getting past.
Yeah, and if you're at the front of it, you're getting passed by a bunch. So Spear under some serious heat here. He's in 7th, and he's got a train forming behind him. Bruce making a move.
So here we see it happen to Darren Bruce right here. The 88 slid into his spot. Now Bruce has got to do something. You can watch the 88 go on by.
Bruce went to make a move on Leal, and it's probably going to end up costing him 2 spots.
And that's the frustration factor going up here, Dean. Darren Bruce is a solid race car driver, but, you know, goes to improve his position, ends up losing one.
How about Lester here? Lester on the move. Now, he might have been one of those guys who pitted. Let's have a look on our pit board. That's lap 46. Yeah, so a little fresher tire here. That puts Lester on the move. You also got Tony Ratliff and Ian Spear and Mike Brown on those new tires. Look at Lester all over the back of Cale Seaman. Throws it in. Freshies feel good, don't they, Baron?
Much faster than the guy in front of him, and he liking that.
Still tough, though, and he has to check up there a little bit. He should be able to clear him here through 1 and 2, but it isn't easy.
And he's really got to be careful not to get that 66 into trouble. That could take them both out.
That time he sends her in good. Lester is clear. So move Fred up to 11th and keep an eye on him because he's going to keep moving up front. Newton still leading. Jorge Leal falling back to about 6/10 off. There's Greg, your early race leader. He is now in 3rd. Williams in 4th. And then here comes Maurer underneath a person. So Nate Maurer on the move.
That Maurer's just gone by Bernie. Into that top 5 position. Bernie not going to let him go, though.
No, that's the official crossover move. Bernie right down on that line. I like it. But the high side just prevailing these days. And that's a little bit about this truck, isn't it, Baron? I mean, you got to keep it wound up.
Yeah, keeping it wound up apparently on this high side is the way to go. I'm surprised Nate actually went to the low line that time. Maybe he thought maybe the 16 was going to drive high. He was looking for some extra air, but willingly down there on the bottom.
Yeah, it's interesting dichotomy, if you will.
Whoa.
You gotta, you drive the bottom, you're a little slower, but your tire wear is a little better. Your gas mileage is a little better too. So there's positives and negatives. But if you run that low line consistently, I think you'll start to eat them up a little later on. In 1 and 2, Baron.
But he is making up ground on Claus, so it's working for him.
Newton coming up on Mike Brown here. Always dangerous, seeing lap traffic up in front of you. Brown gives him a ton of room. Great job by the 54 there. Greg Ratliff has moved up to 2nd, so I'm not sure how he did that. Let's go in and have a replay on that and take a look. There you see, I'm thinking something happened with Leal there, and he looked a little unstable through the middle. What a run from the 5. He'll just go down to the bottom, and I think Leal just checked up and said, go on.
Yep. Leal figures to be back later on, recapture that spot.
Yeah, well, Leal, I like that move from Leal, right? If the guy behind you is faster, you got clear, you're not going to get freight trained or anything, just let him go. I mean, we're only just past halfway here.
You see the lap truck and Mike Brown staying out of the way for these competitors. Mike just holding on to what he can for a solid finish tonight.
Well, I like that. I mean, you're going to come out here, you're going to race with these boys, and you're going to try and improve yourself. First thing you got to learn is how to watch that relative, right?
Whoa.
Well, that was he scraped a little bit of cloth off the rear end there. Got his nose a little bit brown.
Yeah, all right, Nate. I see you.
Back in 6. Corey Leal now under heat from Jason Spear. Now, I know Jason been waiting for one of these runs to go a little further. Cale Seaman hits pit road. That's an unscheduled stop, in my opinion.
So when do you expect them to come here, Dean?
Well, I'm thinking somewhere around 95 is what I would think. I can't remember the exact laps of the cautions, but that seemingly was around halfway.
Interesting to see. We'll have green flag stops. That's a hopeful thing for me.
Yeah, and I think you will, Baron. I mean, these guys are very good at racing under green. We had a very strange net code. Not much you can do about that kind of stuff.
No, sir.
So Jason looking better and better. You seen like a line formed behind him at one point. That line is gone now, and that's what he does. And he's a lot like Maurer like that. He wants that long one. He wants it bad. He makes a move on Corey Leal here. So Jason Spear trying to take over 7th position.
Sneaky fast, that Jason Spear. Okay, I shouldn't say sneaky.
Yeah, well, Jason's added speed to his repertoire over the last year, so good for him, right? You know, long run speed's great, but when you can add in some short run speed and some qualifying ability, that's when you get really dangerous.
Yeah, and he is. So tonight, Jason doing the best he can. Iowa here throwing a lot of talented drivers, a bit of a curveball. We had alluded to the Darren Bruce conversation. Darren, not a big fan of the track, and generally by this point, we see Darren up front, don't we?
Yeah, normally we do, but not tonight. Stuck in 11th as we're riding on with Paul K. Travis, kind of watching this little battle between Spear and Leal in front of him. Not much doing yet, but I'm hearing someone else coming into the picture. That's Fred Lester. So the 78 still using those tires, still moving forward. He's looking for 9th place right now.
Yeah, and remember, he was in the spin cycle not too long ago, so it's working out to his advantage.
And I like that right up against the wall there. He's going to get a big run. What's he going to do with it is the thing. I like to set him up through here and take him in 3 and 4, Baron. You want to come off this corner right on his bumper. He's going to do it. Lester's set up for a big pass behind him. That's Mike Brown in the wall. He almost causes a kerfuffle back there.
That was a bit of a switch and bait, right, Dean? Did I say that right?
I'm not
Bait
sure,
switch?
Baron.
I'm trying here, but
I'm not familiar with the switch and
used.
bait, but you know, I'm not much of a fisherman. Oh, the slide job by
Careful.
Lester. Paul K has to lift. That's the traditional slide job right there. You put your life in someone else's hands, Baron.
Paul K cut him a break right there. I'm sure he's not happy about it.
Yeah, that break will not be cut a second time, Baron.
That was your one.
Paul K trying to take a little swing at him there, I think. None too happy, I'm sure. Up front, Newton still leading, but here comes Greg inching slowly but surely. Klaus Williams on pit road early. Do we like this? Here comes Spear as well. So early pit stops, perhaps.
Green flag stops. Here we come. Go.
I like it. I like the call, though. The track position is the most important thing here tonight, Baron.
Yeah, that it is. So they're hoping to make it up here just by pitting early, which I like.
Who else is in? Person's in. So Person, Jorge Leal, Darren Bruce all hit pit road. And I gotta say, I'm a little surprised here. We'll get a look at how long this stint was momentarily here. If I can bring up my pit board. So your stint length here, looking like 48 laps for your leader,
Leaders
47 for others.
Nate Mauer's on pit road.
Now, if we look here, yeah, the leader on pit road, we have how many? 13. You're going to have 47 laps remaining. So this is an even split by these guys. They can do math. I cannot. Ratliff hits pit road with Jorge Leal. Paul K. Travis comes in, and Jason Jackson hot right on him.
That's an entry right there, folks.
That's how you do it. You got to come in, get what you can get. A little dangerous, but he gets her done. Newton gets off of pit road. Now I think he's going to come out. Yes, Williams behind him. So he's coming out in good shape. There's Mauer. There's Person. Lester, your new race leader. And Lester out here is saying, how about a caution here today, racing gods?
Cut me a little break out here, folks, please.
He'd have the field a lap down.
That he would.
Michael Ware getting a little air time there in the 75 machine. Currently running second place.
Also hoping for that mysterious caution to appear.
He's got the Springgates truck out there tonight.
You got me.
Come on. Yeah.
I don't know what
I
Springate
count
is.
on you here.
No, I got you so far with Z-Rex.
Yeah, I never heard of that. Mike Brown hits pit road. Well, that's not pit road, Mike. But
Mike Brown missed it. Missed it by that much.
oh, I've done it. That is an irritating one there.
That it is.
You
Then you
gotta
start
gas
cursing all
back,
the way
especially
all
when
the
you're-
way around.
When you're almost stopped, too, it's like, okay, gear back up, go all the way around. So Lester leads. We're in second. They do have to pit. Newton will be in third, will be your leader. And Claus Williams made his way in front of Ratliff. That's what we were talking about track position. Leal right there. This is a mess. And Maurer there. So the battle for second at some point when Lester and Ware pit is really heating up.
So now, these guys are done pitting, Dean, and you got what you got.
You got what you got, and you're going to have it to the end, barring a caution out here. So Greg pushing as hard as he can to get clear now, and I like the call to try and do that. He's got to get it done. He will get it done. Leal next up to try and work on Williams. No easy task. Octaviani comes in. So Leal looks like he's going to make that move too. So put Ratliff in fourth, Leal in fifth, as Lester remains on the track until now. That's
There
a
he
good
is.
entrance there.
Yep. Nice pit.
Michael Ware, now your race leader. So the 75 out here, and now he's doing the praying. Here comes Jason Spear. You can see what fresh
Ahead of
tires
steam.
look for.
Yeah, ahead of steam, man. Woo! I mean, doors officially blown off there.
Yeah, that's going to unlap him. Lester down and away. Lester's going to fall to somewhere around 14th place. There goes Bruce. Well, Bruce isn't going to make it, so Lester comes out in the top 10 here. How about that?
Up 4 spots. Freshest tire on the track.
I like it, but can he hold off Bruce? He cannot, so he's going to have to work on Darren Bruce. Up front, Newton still, well, not your leader quite yet. He's currently 16 seconds behind Michael Ware, who needs to pit.
Well, and he's going to have to, so there's your leader. Second place, Greg Ratliff, right behind
Ware is
him.
in. Oh, no, is that Lester as well? It is. Lester back on pit road. That's unfortunate.
Penalty, maybe?
Penalty, maybe no tires, maybe not enough gas. I mean, you think penalty, right?
Yeah. Ratliff now is second behind Adam Newton. Can he make it up, Dean?
Well, he can. If there's one driver who can do it, it's him. Let's go on board and see what you think about his driving and see if he's saving anything here. So something I like to do there in 1 and 2, he enters a little high, and that's pretty common here. I like to enter lower there, and I find it hooks better around the corner.
I'd love 1 and 2 to be on the bottom, and then I love 3 and 4 on the high side. You can hear it almost bottom out in those turns.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a big bump on the bottom of 1 and 2. That sucker will hit the ground for sure. There he gets right down the bottom. And you know, from my perspective, it looks like he's inching closer here, Barron. But often when I'm chasing someone, I think I'm getting closer, and the time keeps saying I'm getting further away. Maybe I got eyesight problems.
Yeah, it's our age.
George Leal looking good in third here. You got Maurer in fourth, so you got all the long run guys lined up behind Newton. If he isn't perfect, he's going to have problems. And speaking about problems, what do we got going on here?
That would be a gaggle, Dean.
That was a 3-wide gaggle there.
That's awesome. Great driving by these guys. Love watching it. Wishing I was doing it.
Well, we'll get you back out on the track. Folks, we need a little encouragement from the chat there to get Barrett back out on these tracks. Dean Greer out there watching. Dean Gear, sorry. Dean, always nice to hear from you. Glad you're watching. Lance Ripka in the house over on YouTube. Love to see that. With a little boogity earlier on. I'm sure we missed that. He's got a tornado warning. My goodness.
Well,
stay
stay
safe.
low and stay out of trouble. Yeah, man. Good luck. I hate it for you there, Lance. We're pulling for you here, buddy. Wish you were out here with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul K getting racy here. So Paul K, though, is a lap down. So it's not his night here. Rocking that ACS machine. The affordable construction specialist. Got to check that out. Quote. Well, they can't find you, Baron. You're in a different city every night.
I'm easy to find. I need to be there when they build my deck, do they?
Well, you promised them that you were going to serve drinks.
Oh, I got a chick I'll come out. She'll come over and serve the drinks. You just build the deck. We got this all worked out now, Dean. I thought this through.
All right. The plan is in place. Not sure what the deck's going to look like. Not sure that it matters.
You know, I don't really care either.
Just give me somewhere to sit.
Just as long as it's outside and I can sit on it, we're good.
Now, that wasn't a crack about the affordable construction specialists. They're professionals. That was a crack about Barron and what his wants and needs are. He might have drew up some crazy blueprints. Who knows?
I'll get some business out of this, no doubt.
I just had to drink to all of that right there, Baron.
I like where you're heading. Keep that in place.
All right, let's get into our time delta here and have a look from Newton back to Greg Ratliff. Last 5 laps. Boy, oh boy, it didn't get much more even than that. Was a 7.73, now it's 7.60 gap. That's 5 laps worth of hard work. And that's Iowa, right? I mean, it is so painful. You see that guy in front of you, you're trying to reel him in, you just never do. You know, if you had a fishing rod, that tension wire, just as much as you reel in, it keeps slipping out.
It's so frustrating because you're doing everything you can to move the needle and it just doesn't happen.
And you got to let Michael Ware come on through with fresh rubber. There's Leal, there's Maurer, and they're all in the same boat. They think they're driving better than the guy in front of them, and they ain't catching them. Klaus Williams, he's fallen back a little bit now into 5th. Person hanging around in 6th. You got Spear and Leal nose to tail. That's a battle for 7th. And then there's Jason Jackson. Now Jackson up 7. Bruce right behind him. He's up 2 spots. Not his night tonight. Tony Ratliff back here. And Tony last week, if I remember correctly, which I may not, Tony, sorry. But Tony's been real racy. He's been in contention in a couple. I think it was in the Xfinity. He was actually really looking like he might be a winner there. Ledford in 12th, and Darrell Spear back in 13th. Whiting in 14th. Michael Ware back on the lead lap. Yes, right now. Just got his lap back.
There you go.
Great job there.
Good job, buddy.
You know, Lester was going to be in great shape, but he had to pit again. Can't speed, Baron. It's against the law.
That is not approved.
The Road Pirates will get you.
Every time. Two tickets in 10 days back in 22. Who does that?
Yeah. That's not nice.
The great state of Ohio, that's who.
I still remember the hockey tournament where each and every person at the hockey tournament had a ticket. The policeman, a lovely guy, sat in a bush about 5 minutes away from the arena and nailed every family coming into the tournament.
That's determination right there.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's the best way you want to put your hometown on the map, but it's one way. So we're looking around. I mean, these guys are really, it's them against the track, Baron. And, you know, we kind of like this, right? Like as drivers, it's just me and this track, and I'm going to beat this thing.
That's the way you got to look at it, Dean. It's like I said, they're all in the same setup, so you know it's every little inch you can manage, you know, through the wheel, from the inputs in the steering to the inputs at the throttle and the brake. These guys having to manage every little bit they can, and then deal with your competitors. Not an easy task tonight, Dean.
You see, Lester still has the speed. He just doesn't have any position. A couple of laps down now, or at least one down. All right, here things are heating up. 17 to go. Ratliff and Leal are on the march. Newton's trying to hang on. Barron, we might have ourselves something here.
Well, that lap traffic is going to play a role. We know how hard it is to pass here, Dean, so unless he gives Newton a break, this could be what it takes to get the Xerox truck right up to the back bumper.
Yeah, and don't sleep on Leal. He's been coming right along here. So it's going to be a three-way battle for this race win, and it's going to be no holds barred here. It might take that deep dive into 3 and 4 to get it done. Now, when you run someone down like this, which they have, closed in maybe 10, 15 car lengths each, now they're here, it gets more difficult, doesn't it, Barron?
You got to catching them's one thing, passing them's another.
I mean, the dirty air starts to influence you. You're focusing on the car in front of you. You might miss your marks instead of just focusing on that. You got a lot of issues, and then if you manage to get side by side, getting it done, ooh, that is tough.
And frustrating all in the same breath. Yep.
But this is where it gets fun, right? You love to be in these battles. You worked all night. It comes down to the final 13 laps, and you're right in it. You got a shot. How about a full send in here, and you clean them both out, Baron?
Well, that's not approved either.
Sorry, bad thoughts entered my head there momentarily, folks.
Hashtag enemies. But he's there anyways, Dean, right? Ratliff has gotten to the back bumper of the Adam Newton machine. That lap traffic will play a role here. 12 to go. It's starting to get a little hot around here.
Well, how about Newton? I mean, did Newton do this on purpose? Did he save a little bit and let them crawl their way up here and say, I got to cool them down for this coming fight?
No, the only person who knows that answer is driving the number 2 machine.
I had to let a few comments go there. It's Adam Newton out front, Greg Ratliff in second, Jorge Leal third, and Maurer in fourth. Williams back in fifth, Person back to Leal. Leal working on Mike Brown right there. Jason Jackson in eighth, Bruce up to ninth now. Ratliff, that's your top 10. Jason Spear just on the outside. Back up front, 10 to go, and I think Newton has found himself again. I think maybe he did, you know. He's becoming more and more a wily vet as these seasons go on, Baron. He gets tougher and tougher to beat.
A little more interesting to boot is that Leal has caught Ratliff now. And now Ratliff may be driving the rearview mirror a little bit.
Yeah, I believe you're right about that. I mean, he may have gone from looking out the windshield to looking in that mirror. Oh, hiccups. What's that mean, man?
And that means that Adam Newton loves to see this race happen, because the more these two boys battle, the further away he's going to get.
Yeah, well, I think at this point, it's like there's no need to stay in line anymore. The battle's for second. I mean, it's so hard to close any kind of distance. Where Newton is, it's near impossible. You're going to need a mistake. So Leal, I think he's doing the right thing here. He's going after this second spot. Good
We're talking
run
about
through
that lap
1-2.
truck. You know, if Newton's not careful, that's going to mess up his line. I'd be getting on the radio right now going, cut me a break, buddy. I need you to help me out here.
Yeah, and I'd be saying, what do you got for me? Eh? You need my address? You want to send me something?
Bottle of whiskey. It's on the way.
I got a feeling there's a few barrels lingering around the Labosco house.
Not that much, but enough to get me by.
you can go with a power outage for a couple of weeks.
I'm pretty good for a week.
Well, 4 weeks for most people, 1 week for Baron.
Amazing, my liver enzymes are fine. Amazing.
That's only because you don't check them, Baron.
No, I had them checked. I was like, the doctor was like, they're fine. And I said, really?
So Leal trying to go on the high side here, and I see Ratliff there. It looks like he doesn't know whether he's clear or not. He did this earlier, and it cost him the lead when he kind of stayed low when he could have went high. And I think Leal cut him a break by coming in behind him there. He should have stayed high, because it doesn't look like Ratliff has great visuals on whether a guy's above him or not. I know, because I suffer with those kind of things, man.
More jokes. Not more jokes.
All right, Newton, 3 to go. He's got Michael Ware right in front of him. These two are behind him are kind of closing back up on him a little bit. It's a little too late. But the battle for second, well, Newton can't clear again. 2 to go. So Newton coming back to them here.
And again, the lap truck's not doing anything wrong. It's just,
Well, he is, in my opinion.
Newton's just not able to get around him here. Finally does clear him. 1 to go on the final lap.
Oh, and Leal almost comes up in there. So, yeah, Ware gives him the room he needed there. And you're right. I mean, I wanted to say more about it, but we're at the end of the race. It's Newton here coming down into 3 and 4, looking for the win here in the ACS Iowa 125. Your points leader. We're in that beautiful Betamax paint scheme from Earnhardt. The 2, the Bulldog, to the line with the win. Ratliff in second, Leal right there in third, Maurer fourth. Klaus Williams has a good 5th place. Personal comes 6th. Corey Leal 7th. Jason Jackson, Darren Bruce, Tony Ratliff, your top 10.
Great run by the 2 machine. Great run by Adam. Your points leader, showing why he's going to be a handful the rest of this season.
Well, he is, and that's what we said. I mean, his wheel, like I said, was a big problem. That's been sorted out, and you see what happens when his machinery works. He led a lot. He took it right off the hop, Baron. That was the race move of the night. Lap 1.
Yeah, that high side pass on that restart was the way to go, and he figured it out, managed it. Great job.
Excellent job. Doing a great burnout here. Adam Newton extends his lead, makes it almost unfathomable that anybody will run him down in the championship. And a nice burnout. I always like these tight donuts, Baron.
That's like donuts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Still need my
Bavarian
Krispy
cream.
Kreme. Someone's got to get me a Krispy Kreme. I never had one. So as we watch this, let's go to a commercial break. We'll come back. We'll get interviews with our top 3. right, back here at Iowa, where Mr. Adam Newton took the race here tonight. Here's your final results on the evening. Some good races and some guys who are a little upset. I mean, we look towards the back. Cale Seaman down in 20th position. Man, he had something going at one point, Baron. And you got Fred Lester also. You know, it wasn't his night to be. It looked like it might be at one point, though.
Yeah, so 14 cars on the lead lap, not bad. We had some guys with some troubles, a penalty or two was handed out, but a good run overall. Can't say anything bad about what we saw tonight. Iowa always delivers. Great night here in the heart of the heartland.
Yeah, Daryl Spear up in 13th. Nice run for him. Jorge Leal in 7th. You know, lots of guys to look at here tonight, but it was Adam Newton who took this race. What a job he did early on, lap 1, making the pass, making it happen. Just an excellent all-around job, and we turn our attention right now to Mr. Jorge Leal, the 97. He comes home in third, a hard-fought third place. Great job tonight, George.
Appreciate it, guys.
So, George, you had to come up a little bit. I mean, early on, let's talk about the early part of the race here. How were you feeling? Were you thinking like long run, or were you thinking, man, I got to get him early because it's so hard to do anything on the long run?
Yeah, you definitely got to think long run, but at the beginning of the race, I knew you were going to have to race hard to keep some of those guys behind you, just because it's so hard to pass, as we saw towards the end of the race. But just run it hard and hope you don't burn them up too bad.
Let's talk a little bit about the end of the race there. You got up there, you and Greg both closed in on Adam. Were you thinking that, there's about 15 laps left? It looked like you guys might have a shot at this thing. What were you thinking?
Yeah, when we started that run, I ran a few really hard laps, and then I was trying to get my line going really straight, like as straight as I could off of turn 2. And I thought, I'd save that right front for the end of the race. And I hung out there behind Greg a little bit to see if he might have a chance at Adam, but it didn't look like he was going to. So I made the one attempt to pass him, and then I was planning on kind of waiting until the last lap or two to try it again, maybe beat him at the line, since it's kind of hard to complete the pass, but it didn't work out.
What about the slide job, Jordan? Were you thinking I might have to slide job him in 3 and 4?
It was a little too tight, and I really enjoy racing against Greg and Adam and those guys, so there's no need for all that.
I hear you there. Certainly don't want to ruffle feathers. You got to come back and race more. You did a great job, George. Picked up a couple of spots. You've been solid lately. There's another solid run you can add into the books. We look forward to seeing you on the next few races here, see if you can make some more damage in the points. We'll turn the mic over to you. Anybody you want to thank? Any shout-outs you want to give, George?
Just thank ACS and for sponsoring the Truck Series and Dirty Spatula and the Xfinity Series. And thank Greg and Todd and George. George's been doing a lot with the monitoring the races and stuff, so I really appreciate that. And that's about it.
All right, Baron. Jorge Leal, another top 3 for the 97.
Consistency wins championships, Deans, and George doing a hell of a job at maintaining his consistent approach. And speaking of Mr. Consistency, I'm sitting here with our second place finisher, the number 5 driver, Greg Ratliff. Greg, congratulations on the second place finish tonight. How'd it go?
Hey man, thanks a bunch. Maybe it went a little better than I expected there, but I didn't get any practice. Was off on vacation last week and missed a week. So yeah, feels good.
So the night at Iowa, hard passing here tonight, George, or what did you need to catch the 2?
Oh, extremely hard, man. When you if you have a guy on the outside of you coming off of 4, you need every bit of space to let that car go up the track, or you end up pointing the wrong way.
So second place tonight. You've had a win this season. We're closing in on the end of the season tonight. What do you got to do to grab the big cup at the end of the season?
Well, probably out of time for that by missing a race. And Adam's got a pretty good lead on us, I believe. So I just want to run steady to the end and, you know, finish as good as I can to the rest of the season and get off on a good start the next season.
So, have you ever had Krispy Kreme donuts?
Oh man, uh, you want to go when the light comes on.
And see, what we need to do is we need to get those Krispy Kremes when the light goes on, freeze dry them, send them to my man Dean Doucette, courtesy of Canada.
I
They'll know
need
who
him.
he is.
I need him.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are delicious.
So, Greg, who do you got to thank for your finish tonight? Anybody you want to shout out while you're here?
Yeah, just thank all my team, United Motorsports and RGR with Georgia Todd and all the drivers in the league, and shout out to our sponsor, Affordable Construction Specialist, Mike Brown and his wife, and yeah, you guys for your broadcasting, and yeah, man, that's it.
Tell Mike he needs to build me a deck. I'll provide the liquor.
Well, I think he starts his time when he leaves the house,
Understood.
so
We'll just tack that on to the travel expenses, shall we?
about 12 hours to Indianapolis.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're about right on that one there, Greg. Well, appreciate you tonight, son. Great job. Second place. We'll see you next week.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Go get him.
All right, we turn our attention now to the race winner, the Bulldog, the number 2, Adam Newton in victory lane. Man, it's gotta feel good, Adam, back in victory lane. The equipment working good. You look good out there.
Righteous, man. So righteous.
Righteous. Oh, bringing me back. We're heading to the 60s and 70s, folks. I love it. And you brought the Petamax machine back to victory lane. All seems right in the world again, Adam. I mean, you got to be thrilled here to like just get through one of these things problem free, first of all, but to beat these great bunch of drivers.
Yeah, I was very excited at how everything went tonight. Um, Leading a lot of laps. Truck felt good. Not my usual self on the long run, and I couldn't quite get down my Dean Doucette line, and but I was close, and it felt good. So I learned a couple things, and I started mirror driving the last bit and saved some tires because I knew Greg was coming.
Yeah, well, he was coming and everything, but let's go back, right, to the race moment, of the moment of the race, I should say. Lap 1, turn 1. What a jump. My goodness, Adam, you on the high side there. You stay with him and you stay on the high side. What a move.
Yeah, and it stuck, and I remembered Brian Cole using that line um, one time in a truck race, and it worked. And I was actually surprised later on in the run. That's how I started to pull back away some, and it actually kind of saved some tires too at the same time.
Well, it was awesome, man, and I think it shocked Greg a little bit. He sure did fight. We seemed to get a little bit loose at one point trying to hang on, which you did, and managed to complete that pass. Now we get down to the end of the race. You got him and Jorge Leal coming in on you, and you talked about maybe, not as good as normal on the long run. Were you saving anything, or was that just, oh, hey, we're just doing everything we can up here?
Well, at the last part, I knew he was going. I knew Greg was faster after that first run when he caught me, and I nailed pit road, and that was the big key of the moment for me tonight was that, and then I kind of paced myself, tried to do, you know, I wanted to hit a certain number like Darren does, and once I saw they came, then that's when I moved up a little bit and I put 2 tenths right back on them. So I knew I had a good chance of trying to win this tonight and pulled it off.
You certainly did. Great job, a great run. You solidify the points lead back up after losing a little bit the last couple of weeks. Now got a nice lead. Few races left, man. It's going to be great stuff watching you go through and try and clinch this championship. Congrats on the victory. The floor is yours, my friend. Any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, thank you. Thank Baron. Thank all my spirit teammates, Bernie, Jason, Darren, Tom, Nate. Um, Ian was riding tonight. Um, you know, Scott when he's here and not farming. We are in Iowa today, so children of the corn for Scott. But thanks to him in the paint scheme, and shout out to Braxton. Keep fighting, dude. This wins for you, bud.
All right, you heard it, Baron. A little shout out to Braxton too. I always love that. Of course, be brave for Braxton. Scott Olson runs that car, and we always think about that. But a great night for Mr. Newton, Baron.
Yeah, and shout out to farming too, right? So
Yeah.
here we go, right? It's time to think about that and Krispy Kreme donuts, but also time to think about Adam Newton as he extends his point lead on the field. Dean, as we're closing in on the end of this season, he has got some easy driving to do moving forward.
Yeah, and that's what you like to do. I mean, these championships, they may be fun for us when they're close, but as a driver, you don't want to go into your last race with anything to lose. You want to close it out. So he's going to have a couple more good ones here. We'll see how it goes, but great night for him out on the track. And of course, every week we got the coverage for you. It's RGR Racing League every Thursday, 9:10 p.m. But for myself, Dean Doucette, for Mr. Baron Labosco, that's going to wrap it up here from Iowa, where we talk a little farming, a little donuts. But we'll see you right here next time on Win.